All right, let's talk about Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. Listen, I realized that for 4 weeks in a row now, I have made a video talking about how good the quarterback who played the Dallas Cowboys defense has played. So definitely there is the Dallas Cowboys defense is a way for you to add to your highlight reel, and the defense you want to start a opposing quarterback on in fantasy and all that stuff. But I legitimately thought he played really well in this game. I know that, yes, Cowboys defense isn't great, but you can still evaluate a quarterback even when they're playing against a bad team. So let's talk about it. And usually these are when you need film studies because the numbers are always going to look good, but how was the play? So let's talk about it. Well, first, you want to have some downfield passing against Dallas, who isn't doing a great job at a lot of stuff defensively, but they're also not doing a great job at covering. So let's see if you have a deep shot down the field. Well, let's see what they can do. Jordan Love is going to take the snap. It's a bit of a exotic pressure. Was trying to send four guys to one side. It completely did not work. No pressure whatsoever. Again, that's been an issue with the Cowboys since they've traded Micah Parsons. You see down the field, someone screwed this up. I don't know who it was, but someone screwed this up. You're not supposed to have two receivers running the exact same route on this play. It's almost like trying to catch a fly ball here in baseball, where you got to make sure you don't interfere with each other trying to catch it. Also, somehow they're both past the Cowboys defense, which I don't understand how you let two guys get past you. You think that would be pretty easy if there's no setup route here and you're still letting them blow by you. But Love does make a perfect throw, and Matthew Golden, despite traffic from even his own guy, able to have the concentration to make the grab. So give him some credit with that play. So yeah, I mean, again, this is a tough throw. This is not an easy play to make, and Jordan Love's deep ball accuracy really is great. I mean, it is possible we sometimes underrate the physical tools with everything. I mean, hey, if you can make that type of throw, like that does change how you can run an offense. Speaking of run and offense, we definitely did see some like Matt LaFleur good stuff. I know LaFleur got a lot of criticism late. I don't know. The Packers scored 40 points. You can criticize the clock management towards the end, but when it comes to X's and O's, like, it's hard to blame the offense too much, especially when you did see plays like this. It's 3rd down and 5. They're going to run a Tucker Kraft screen pass. Jordan Love is going to take the snap. He's going to flip this ball to Kraft, and, it's pretty well blocked. I'm surprised he didn't just step forward because it's 3rd and 5. You don't want to try and make a move, get tackled, and now have a 4th down situation. But he decides to make a move, and he stiff arms the guy and is able to get all the way to the 1-yard line, nearly got into the end zone for a touchdown. Really, really good stuff there by Tucker Kraft. So, hey, if you're going to make the move, you got to make the move. You got to pull it off, right? And and Kraft was certainly able to do it. Also a good play design by LaFleur. That play was going to work regardless. This play is interesting. I don't know. This almost looks designed. So let me know what you guys think in the comments with this one. But it's a 2nd down and 18. They just had, I believe it was a penalty that dropped them back, if I remember correctly. So, okay, 2nd and 18. You want a touchdown, but like a lot of the times you're thinking, let's just settle for 3 here, make sure we don't lose those points as well. Love is going to take the snap. He looks down the field, doesn't love what he sees, starts to scramble, and this almost looks intentional, where you see that you have a running back on this play, but you also have another player who is almost lined up as though he's going to block. Josh Jacobs is the running back. Chris Brooks is the other player who's also a running back, who's looking as though he could potentially block. That looks like I don't think this can't have been like by design, because the play took too long for it to get here, of it like a screen pass type of play. Like, there's no way that was the idea. But I actually do think that by design, the play was, if you're going to throw a check down, since we have a fake where both backs are going to go towards the flat, let's just have one set up to be a blocker if Love decides to throw this check down. I think that part was by design, given how Brooks is making sure he stays behind the line of scrimmage, because if he goes past the line of scrimmage and blocks when the ball is in the air, that's offensive pass interference, but behind the line of scrimmage, that would be okay. So Love at the last second decides to pull a trigger there. It's actually a backwards pass, so the stats do not count for Love on that one. That counts as a rush instead of a pass. But ultimately, I mean, it's a great play by Love to recognize that that's still open at the last minute and make that play. And I think that's a brilliant job by LaFleur to add that little wrinkle if that's what happened. Again, I'm not in the huddle, I can't say, but I think that's what happened. Really fun stuff. Now, let's head over here, kind of the turning point of the game. Well, okay, I guess the blocked point after attempt return for a 2-point conversion was in many ways the turning point of the game. That made it 13-2 instead of 14-0. But then the Cowboys scored a touchdown. You knew you weren't going to shut them out. And so ultimately, you're not feeling great, only being up 4 points, after they have dominated the first half. But ultimately, that's still not the worst thing in the world. You're still up 4 points against a very good, or at least a competent football team, right? A very good offense and a bad defense. Although, I said with LaFleur, like, I'm not going to criticize the X's and O's too much, and I'm not, but for this situation, you have no timeouts, there's 21 seconds, and you're at your own 26-yard line. I mean, the odds of you scoring points here are very slim, and it feels like there is a higher chance of something going wrong than something going right. Because that's basically the math here, right? You just ask yourself, do you think if you go for points here, there's a higher chance that you score or that you give up points? And here it feels like giving up points is more likely. Now, the Cowboys have all 3 timeouts, so if you just kneel it, maybe you probably have to punt, and with Aubrey on the other side, like, that's concerning. But you can at least run the ball, make sure your back has 2 hands on the ball, and kill the clock that way. Instead, they decide to pass, and this isn't on Love at all. I mean, it's a blindside play where his hand gets hit right as he's throwing it. The broadcast said, like, he's a little loose with the ball sometimes. On this play, like, what are you supposed to do? Like, it's just one of those bad luck plays. Can't criticize the quarterback, in my opinion. It's just, pressure got there at the exact wrong time. And also, given the play concept, because you're trying to get a chunk play, he's going to hold on to the ball for a little bit longer. So, like, to me, this is on coaching. This is just a risk that you didn't need to take, and it led to the Cowboys getting a touchdown. So they had to lead at the start of the half when they could have been trailing. But yeah, heading over here again for Love, he made the simple stuff when he had to. I also thought he made some really nice throws, not just the deep stuff, but also something like this. It's a 3rd down and 8 situation. You have a one-on-one matchup here on the outside. Love is going to take the snap, and it's Romeo Doubs, who obviously had a tremendous day in this one. Not totally open here, though. And again, given the situation, Packers are down 3 points. If they don't convert this pass, they probably do have to punt. And given the way the Dallas offense is rolling, that might just be the game if you can't get this play. So you got to try and get this play. But look at that throw. I mean, talk about putting a ball in a mailbox there. I mean, that is beautiful. Exactly where you'd want it to make that play work. Dobbs makes a nice catch on top of it and makes a nice move to get more yards after the catch. So that's just great stuff by Jordan Love, converted to 4th down as well, just consistently making these plays. And also, let's give a shout out to Dobbs on this one, where what's going to happen on this play is it's zone coverage concept. You see the route that Dobbs is going to be running right here, trying to get open. Also, a 3rd and 10. Again, if you don't convert here, you're kicking a field goal, but now you're giving the Dallas Cowboys a minute 45, only needing a field goal to win with no risk of, they don't have to score. Love takes a snap, and Dobbs just can't let that happen. You're going to see a great route by him. At this point, you have, if I didn't tell you, you would have no idea what route he's running. Really doing a good job to sell as though he could do anything. The moment he starts to cut, the defensive back just can't get there in time. Love perfectly on the money. They're able to get a touchdown, give the Packers the lead, a lead that the Cowboys would then take with a touchdown. The Packers would then tie up once again with a field goal. Both teams with the field goal in overtime, and ultimately it was a tie. But a really impressive performance from Jordan Love. You can play great in the loss, you can play great in the win, and sometimes you play great in the tie, and that's what happened with Jordan Love. So let's give him some credit, even if they weren't able to get the victory. To me, that was obviously on the defense, who gave up 40. That's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.